The relationship between science and religion has long been a topic of debate, with scientists and Christians often finding themselves on opposing sides. While it may seem that scientists are actively trying to convince Christians that God is not real, the reality is more complex. Scientists, by nature of their profession, are driven to understand the world around them through empirical evidence and observation. This pursuit of knowledge can sometimes lead to conclusions that contradict religious beliefs, particularly those related to the existence of a higher power. One reason scientists may appear to be trying to convince Christians that God is not real is that the scientific method, by its very nature, relies on testable hypotheses and observable evidence. The concept of God, as understood by many Christians, is often seen as beyond the realm of empirical testing, making it difficult to reconcile with the scientific method. Scientists, in their quest for knowledge, may view the idea of God as an untestable hypothesis, and therefore, not a viable explanation for natural phenomena. This perspective can lead scientists to seek alternative explanations for the world around them, which may be perceived as an attack on religious beliefs. Another reason for the perceived conflict between scientists and Christians is the concept of naturalism, which is often seen as a fundamental aspect of scientific inquiry. Naturalism posits that the natural world can be explained by natural causes and laws, without the need for supernatural intervention. This worldview can be at odds with the Christian belief in a personal God who is actively involved in the world. Scientists, in their pursuit of understanding the natural world, may be seen as promoting a naturalistic worldview that excludes the possibility of God's existence. Furthermore, the scientific community's emphasis on evidence-based reasoning can also contribute to the perception that scientists are trying to convince Christians that God is not real. Scientists rely on empirical evidence and rigorous testing to support their claims, and when it comes to the existence of God, many scientists argue that there is a lack of empirical evidence to support this claim. This focus on evidence-based reasoning can lead scientists to conclude that the existence of God is unlikely or unproven, which may be perceived as an attack on Christian beliefs. However, it is essential to note that the vast majority of scientists are not motivated by a desire to discredit religious beliefs or convince Christians that God is not real. Rather, scientists are driven by a genuine desire to understand the world around them and to uncover the underlying laws and principles that govern the universe. While the conclusions drawn by scientists may sometimes contradict religious beliefs, this is often an unintended consequence of their pursuit of knowledge, rather than a deliberate attempt to undermine faith. In reality, many scientists tell themselves Christians or hold other religious beliefs, and they are able to reconcile their scientific work with their faith. These individuals recognize that science and religion are not mutually exclusive, but rather complementary ways of understanding the world. They may see their scientific work as a way of deepening their understanding of God's creation, rather than as a means of disproving God's existence. In conclusion, the perception that scientists are trying to convince Christians that God is not real is a complex issue, driven by a variety of factors, including the scientific method, naturalism, and evidence-based reasoning. While scientists may sometimes draw conclusions that contradict religious beliefs, this is often an unintended consequence of their pursuit of knowledge, rather than a deliberate attempt to undermine faith. Ultimately, the relationship between science and religion is more nuanced and multifaceted than a simple conflict between two opposing worldviews. By recognizing the complementary nature of science and religion, we can work towards a deeper understanding of the world and our place within it, rather than perpetuating a false dichotomy between faith and reason.